Hi, I'm Adrian. Welcome back to another episode of the Decades Challenge HBCU edition. And this is a very exciting episode for me because it is episode 100, 100, and I'm very, very excited to share it with you. So we are on an airplane and we are headed to, sorry about that, a little bit of bulkhead there. We are headed to Vietnam, and I'm not sure where Amelia is, but I'm sure she will sit down soon. Oh, okay. She went to get something to eat, and it is now the 1970s. So welcome to the 1970s. Welcome to episode 100. Welcome to Vietnam at some point in the near future. We are on a plane headed in that direction. And yeah, don't ask me about this being in the gallery. It is not in the gallery because it's actually not a great build, which is why I'm keeping a close crop on this because it's not my best work. But I wanted to create an airplane feel. This is first class. You can see the seats in the back are a little tighter together. And this plane is taking folks to Vietnam because Angelica is now ready to do her USO tour. So Angelica, of course, is a celebrity. She has been a celebrity for many decades now. She's a very sought after entertainer. She's a singer. She is also a nightclub entertainer. She's got a lot of miles under her belt, and her frequent companion is her niece, Ami, or Amelia, who is a professional photographer. And Amelia has work all over the world. She is a very renowned celebrity photographer and portrait photographer, and she is going on this trip in with her aunt to Vietnam to entertain because it's a good opportunity to see her brother, and which is Angelica's nephew. So yeah, it'll be a good little reunion there. You can see another passenger on this plane is Alveda Cornell, who is Angelica's companion and personal secretary, personal assistant. But they also have a relationship. At this point in the 1970s, same-sex couples are a little more acceptable, not a whole lot. If you wanted to be successful, especially in the entertainment industry, you still had to play a very straight-laced traditional role, especially if you were an African-American woman or an African-American man or woman. Gender roles and race roles were very rigid. And so though the family knows that Alveda and Angelica are lovers, it's not something that they call themselves outside of their four walls, and it's not they don't show affection in public. So there. I actually was hoping they would sit down a little more than they are right now because they are on an airplane, but you know, Sims, they're not going to sit if they don't want to sit. And Ami is angry about something, and I think Angelica just called her trash, but whatever. Yeah, they're not going to sit. Oh, now we're sitting. Look at this. This is so exciting. 3 Sims sitting on an airplane, and this airplane is a little empty, but that's okay. We're rolling with it. This is our scenario. So I wanted to spend this 100th episode talking about other people. It's not just about my story. There are lots of stories out there in the Sims universe, a lot of creators out there on YouTube, and I wanted to highlight some of my favorites and tell you why I like them. My first favorite, I have to give props to Kelsey and Peachake, because Kelsey and Peachake she not only brought me to the fact that you could record and publish Sim videos, but also to YouTube entirely, because prior to finding Kelsey and Peachake's videos, I did not understand the draw of YouTube. Oh, Angelica is singing. Good for her. I was at home once with my daughter who was in college at the time, and she watched a lot of YouTube, and I just didn't understand why she was watching hours and hours of YouTube. And one day she said, "Hey mom, look at this video. It's The Sims." And of course, I have played Sims for as long as Sims was available on PC, which is a really long time. And so I sat down and I watched, and it was a BuzzFeed video, the 100 Baby Challenge. I think every sim player or watcher knows about the BuzzFeed 100 Baby Challenge that Kelsey and Peacha K did. It was many years. It was a lot of fun. And that's when I started to watch YouTube actively. And after watching Kelsey for about a year, I thought, hey, I want to do this too. I wonder if I could do this. And of course, it took me many years, like 3 years, to actually get it sorted out and to get up enough confidence and courage to publish my own videos. And of course, then it took me, I think, almost a year before I started doing the Decades Challenge. So first, big props to Kelsey and Peacha K for me being a forerunner of this industry. I do watch a lot of Decades Challenge videos or series, and I enjoy many of them, but I wanted to highlight some that are particularly focused on Black voices. I don't only watch Black creators, and I don't only watch videos with Black stars, I guess you could call it, with that feature Black characters. I watch many different challenges. I watch many different channels, but I have a special affinity for channels and videos that focus on ethnic diversity, on geographic diversity, and those kinds of things. So I tend to watch more African Americans because that is what is available to me. I don't often see a lot more ethnicities, but if you know of some, let me know, because I will watch them all, especially the Decades Challenge, because you do go through so much of a single family and you do go through so many different decades that I think creators have to create these. Where are my Sims? Have to create these this historical touch points, and also create sort of historically accurate settings, and that appeals to me. And so that's why I watch a lot of Decades Challenges. So some of the Decades Challenges that I watch and I enjoy are the following. I like See Jen Game. Jen actually started her Decades Challenge more than a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now. I'm not entirely sure. But she has told a story about a white family that over the course of the family has become an African American family. And when I'm watching African American characters, I'm very sensitive to authenticity. So I think if you play a character who has, very typical American language, typical American dress and mannerisms and things like that, that's authentic to me. If you are African American and you know what some of the cultural touch points or situational touch points that are specific to African Americans, then I enjoy that. But if you play characters where African American characters are in subservient roles or are in over exaggerated roles. I remember watching some videos where all of the African American characters were scantily dressed and the narrator spoke with this kind of sort of phony ghetto speak, and it was offensive to me. So when I think, regardless of the creator's nationality or ethnicity or race, I think if it's authentic to me, I'm really going to enjoy that. Sorry, I was talking so much I blew Pirate Day. Oh well. Another one that I've just started watching in the past few months is VSFL Games. I love what she's doing. She is doing the Decades Challenge from a Caribbean/British point of view. And I love that because I don't have any base of knowledge for those stories. So I feel like I am being dropped into another country. I am being dropped into a story where I come with no sort of knowledge base. And I'm really enjoying the journey, and I'm enjoying what the narrator is teaching about her culture and in some ways her family, because she talks about how she asks her mother questions about what things were like in that period in the Caribbean. And so it's just a fantastic story. Highly recommended story. I love it. I love it. I love it. And honestly, if she produced a video every day, I would watch a video every day. That's how much I love it. A newer series, Decades Challenge, that I'm watching is created by Fairy Tempest. And Fairy Tempest has a gentle, soft voice that is very comforting and interesting to me. And her story, she uses some very authentic clothing, CC that she's downloaded, and very authentic hair. And it's just beautiful to see the start of this African American family. And I think she is only in the third generation at this point. I think the third generation has been born. So she's only on episode 20 or something. But I really like her perspective and I enjoy watching those videos. And they don't come out that often. I think she's only publishing about once a month on the Decades Challenge. So it's very slow going, but the quality of the videos and the quality of the storytelling is exceptionally high in my book. So I really enjoyed that as well. Before I started my own Decades Challenge, I started watching Sim Queen. Sim Queen does a fantastic Decades Challenge as well. Her challenge made it to 2020. And when it started, when she started to ask her fans, should we do a COVID storyline? Should we ignore COVID? Should we, bump past it? What should we do? And I was not ready to deal with a 2020 storyline. So I have paused in watching that series from Sim Queen because emotionally I'm just not there yet. However, I'm watching another series that she does and really enjoying that. And I watch that every week. I think I watch that every week. She publishes every couple of days, but generally that's like my Saturday watch to catch up on those videos. So I haven't watched her Decades Challenge in a while, but again, she has characters of all ethnicities and she weaves them into the story naturally, and she doesn't try to hyper focus on their ethnicity. It's just these people are all in the same country. They share the same cultures. They share the same speaking patterns. This is a family, and I really enjoy her series, and I enjoy also getting back to the rest of the story as soon as I feel like I'm mentally able to do that. So those are my favorite Decades Challenges. I have other videos or other series and other creators that I really, really love. I don't miss episodes. And I want to shout out to them as well. Of course, I said Kelsey and PJ. I also watch James Turner. What I like about James Turner's videos is they are chaotic, but a little structured. And he does a terrible job at dressing his Sims. He often bends the rules or changes the rules in the middle of the Let's Play. But I like that he plays long form games, the long Let's Plays, and he's funny. So I love it. I love watching James Turner. I watch his videos all the time. Another one I like is PD Plays It. I really recommend that because his YouTube channel is like a resource library. So if I have a question, I had a lot of questions about photography. So I needed to learn how to be a photographer because that is what Amelia Elderberry is. And I needed to learn how to use tools like the tripod. So PD Plays It makes these little how-to videos that show you kind of the life cycle of a particular aspiration or skill. He has a great sense of humor. His videos are always so engaging. He is very engaging, and so I really, really recommend that. I also watch My Boy 1991. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but he does a series like a soap opera with seasons like television seasons. and episodes, and it's shot like a TV show. So you're not watching Sims do what they're doing here on my screen. You're actually getting close-up shots and the characters are speaking to each other. And this particular creator has gotten other people to do voices in his series. So it's really just like watching a soap opera. It's very interesting and I enjoy it. And it looks like Amelia is very angry. I like Little Simsy. I don't watch everything that she does, but I do like when she talks about new features and new packs, etc., etc. I really enjoy that. And I love when she challenges the game. She pushes it to its limits and she says, I wonder if you can make money baking cakes. And then she'll go through the exercise of, oh yeah, I can get rich doing this. Or, oh, well, there's no way in the world I can get rich doing this. It's just not possible. And I find those things entertaining and also helpful. I'm never going to have a sim try to make money on cakes because I know it doesn't pay. Another creator I've started to follow is Ocean Sims. She did a series about perfect life recently that sped up the life cycle of a single person, a single sim. And then we got to see that sim in childhood. We got to see her as a teenager, etc., on to her death. And I thought that was a very creative choice. I think she wasn't the originator of that challenge, but I thought her interpretation of it was fantastic. And recently she did a video about hair bonnets, which is a new feature or a new headgear in The Sims. They just gave that to us. As you know, many of my African American women have worn hair bonnets through this series, and I'm happy to say, and I will, in the next time we see Amelia in her bedclothes, I will upgrade her hair bonnet. But Ocean Sims explains to people who are not African American or who are not Black, who don't understand the culture of hair bonnets, how not to apply the hair bonnets. And I really respect her point of view. And I'll put a link to that particular video in this video because I think everybody should watch it. It's so informative and it's so honest and important. And as an African-American woman, it means a lot to me personally. So that is Ocean Sims. My favorite and most irreverent creator is Whiny Brit. She pushes the game in a way that I think she's trying to break The Sims. She is also an explorer. She will question something. She will question. So one challenge that she did recently was she made every person in The Sims related to every other person in The Sims. And so she broke this up into 6 or 8 videos, putting worlds together. And then finally, she created her very last Sim baby. And when you looked at their family tree, it spanned all worlds. And it was several months of commitment to these videos, but the payoff was so huge at the end of it. Now, Whiny Brit is very cheeky. Some of her language may not be family friendly, so some of her situations may not be family friendly as well. It's all very adult content, and it's all, like I said, irreverent content, which I think is hilarious, but not everybody does. So I love Whiny Brit. I love watching her content. She also cannot produce enough to satisfy my soul. So that is another one that I enjoyed. Okay, this has been a long trip to Vietnam. But yeah, this flight is coming in for a landing. I want to thank you so much for supporting me and my vision and my storytelling. I do love telling stories. I do love history, American history, and I do love sharing this with you. Thank you so much for being a part of my creative space. And if you are watching my videos thinking I can do that, yes, you absolutely can and should do that. And when you do, let me know what your channel name is because I'd like to watch that. God bless you all. Thank you so much for your support. Happy 100th. Woohoo!